Okay, guys, so we got NBA 2K18 coming right around the corner, and we still have yet to hear about the park. We still have yet to hear about my career, and we still have yet to hear about Pro-Am. And I'm gonna tell you exactly when you can expect to hear all that information and what you can expect to find in that. This is gonna be a two-part series because this is gonna be the first part where I make these bold predictions based on the trends, based on what 2K has and hasn't talked about, based on some subtleties and what they've been doing over the past few weeks. And then when they do drop the information, I'm going to do another video that's going to basically see whether I confirm everything that I was right about, whether my research was right. It could be embarrassing because I could be way off, but 2K has listened to the fans in the past and they've made minor adjustments, and this year they're talking about they making all these major overhauls. So come Friday is when I believe we're going to see the article released with all the changes that have been made to my career, all the enhancements that have been made to my park, all the new features that we're going to see in these modes are all going to drop on Friday. Let's jump into this. So first thing, 2K had to look back last year and realize that one of the things that was hurting parks, latency issues, was the fact that it was a draw for everything. Like everything was being drawn in the park. So when it came down to, if you're in River City, that train that's running in the background does nothing but makes a sound and makes a motion, and that's extra resources being used for nothing. And so I think they looked at stuff like that and realize that we can make good looking parks without having to add this extra crap in the background that calls for more. And so I think they're going to kind of step back to, I want to say, 2K, was it 2K15's park? Or 2K16's park. 2K15 park, if I'm correct, had it's very simple, very clean, you know what I'm saying? Old school boards, everything just looked like, like a rundown park a little bit. But they're going to kind of go back to that kind of instance where the parks were just a lot more simpler. And that's going to help cutting out on the latency. It's not that you can't make a simple park look good, and everything like that, but it's more along the lines of they're like, hey, this is going to make the parks play better. So we're going to see simpler parks where I believe we're also going to, of course, I believe we're going to get new parks, but I also think that like 2K17, we're not going to get new parks that change throughout the course of the year. I think we're going to get we're going to each get a new park. And it's just going to be set in stone for the rest of the year. And throughout the course of it, they might make changes just to kind of like test and see how much they can push into the parks before the latency issues start to kick back in. So I believe we're going to see a simple stepping stone foundation being built, and then built on that to see what's their cap at. So then we got a couple of new systems that I feel that are going to go into play in the park. So the first thing is going to apply to both my career and my park, and that is going to be an overhaul in the badge system. First of all, I believe they're going to have the ability to track your badges, how far you're away from earning your badge, how far you're away from unlocking your badges, and I also believe they're going to return to a time where they show you all of the badges that are available, and then they'll highlight the ones that you have unlocked. I also believe that they might revamp the badge system with the whole improvements that they said that they made a lot of adjustments and improvements on the original Archetype system. I believe they're going to have those secondary badge setups, or more so the ability to like choose your badges that you want to apply. Now, seeing something come into play like that would be great because it'll allow you to prepare for a situation. So when you go to my park and you're playing up against a slasher, then you'll be able to go in there and say, okay, well, I need to get my lockdown, my lockdown presence known. So I need to have better on-ball defense or whatever. Another addition to that is the ability to earn those park badges in park. Now I believe that when executing that, they're going to make it a little bit longer, a little bit harder of a grind to earn them. But the ability to earn them is a step in the right direction, and they know that. So they, like I said, they listen to the community and do as much as they can to make improvements without making their product vulnerable. So I think we're going to see the park badge, the badges of availability to earn in park. And another thing is that I believe we're going to see the introduction of true to the form park tournaments. Now, what I mean by that is that they did the Duex tournaments, and they did the rival day tournaments, and those were decent. but they were like one-off events for real, for real. You know, they happen once a month, and it was enjoyable. But when they know that this is a game that goes on throughout the course of the year, they do things like this. And remember, everything that they said, everything we've heard about so far has been basically an improvement on what they did wrong in 2K17. So I believe that they looked at DuX tournaments as not a mistake, but more along the lines of an experiment and how they executed it. And I think we're going to see more. Like, so it's not to say we're going to see DuX tournaments go away. DuX tournaments are still going to be specialized tournaments that we see in the park, but they're going to also execute like smaller bracket tournaments. So whereas when you get to pro, when you get to the rank of pro, you'll be able to enter 14 tournaments of 3-on-3. So, you know, two teams compete on both sides, and then the winner of those games will face each other in one and done series. Okay, and the way that it's gonna be executed, well, the best way to execute it, and like I said, everything I'm making is speculation, but it's based on what they usually do to make improvements on broken structures, and everything that they're saying about how they basically improved on 2K17 and added the features in the way that people wanted to see. So in a park tournament structure that they're going to put into place, I feel that it's going to go along the route of there are going to be some good cash, good little VC prizes, but at the end of the day, when you go to your park, you're going to be able to go to, like where you saw exit for Pro-Am, you're going to be able to go to another exit that says exit the tournament, and you're going to enter your team into a tournament, and you're going to probably enter your team into a tournament, and at the same time, there are going to be 3 other teams that'll be entered, and they'll basically pair you all off, and the teams will face each other, and then the winners will face each other, and bam, you got that little tournament champion. And it's more along the lines of these are small little rewards, kind of like how all these other games got a reward that everybody can obtain. It's not something that is like it's only exclusive. No, everybody can obtain it, and everybody can obtain it multiple times. So it's more along the lines of they're gonna put it in the realm of possibility of saying, hey, you can go and play in park tournaments, and you know continue to play in park tournaments. And then what they'll do is they'll probably do like, okay, well, the people who've been winning the most park tournaments of this month will be invited to play in this big league tournament, this big time tournament, and that'll be more of a thing for people to want to go do. Like, oh, I want to be in the tournaments, I want to be the best, I want to be listed as the best, and I want to play for the big VC. So I think we're going to see an introduction of a true to form park tourney setup with some good prizes, some good rewards, and even some participation prizes. You know, small amounts of VC and good boost towards the leveling system, which is another revamp that I see coming to my park. Now, before we talk about a new way the leveling system is going to go, we all saw the trailer, and we saw that they had revealed the release date of the Prelude, and everybody saw the Jordan symbol, and everybody was speculating, what does that mean? Does that mean that the My Career element is going to have something to do with Jordan? And I'm going to take a shot in left field, and I'm going to kind of go in a little bit of a different approach. I believe that we're going to see a new Jordan-based affiliate program for the park. And it's not to say that affiliate program won't have nothing to do with My Career and everything like that, but the affiliate program will extend to the park in the aspect of, it's not that, if you're in the Jordan program, you're no longer a Rough Rider, you're no longer a Sunset Baller, you're no longer Old Town Flyer. Instead, the affiliate program is going to be saying that you transcended to a certain status, that now you're playing in this exclusive gym or in this exclusive league where you're going to play against like the true to form ballers. Now, what does that mean? It just means that, like, for those who get to that Superstar 4, Superstar 5, they're going to be playing against other Superstar 4s, Superstar 5s, and Legends, and things like that. And that's going to be a pretty good plus. I also think we're going to see an overhaul of the park's overall structure at how they do the leveling system, as well as the park availability. So we're going to see parks get broken into casual and competitive, and they're gonna say, "Hey, look, we heard the fans, we listened to the feedback, we know that you wanted it," and so they're gonna and it's most likely gonna be something that gets kind of like bumbled up a little bit. You're gonna get people that go to the competitive joint and they're not competitive players. You're gonna get people that go to the casual park and for real, they're just there being OP, having too much fun, and not really getting no competition. But it's gonna be a good way to balance it out because the competitive leveling guide will be actually based on your my park status. So if you are a superstar one, you'll play on superstar sliders. You're a superstar two, you'll play on slightly tweaked superstar sliders. You play on superstar three, you'll play on even more tweaked superstar sliders, so forth and so forth. And that'll happen at each level. So in the it's not this in a rookie competitive park. Let's say that in rookie, all rookies go to the casual parks. Once you get to Pro One, then you can go to competitive parks, and the competitive parks are going to be based on the rank that you're at, and you're going to be playing against people in that similar rank. And people say you might think that, well, wouldn't that section friends from playing with each other? Yes and no. You can still go to casual park and help your friend, get some levels. It'll take longer for your friend to level up, this, that, and the other. Well, it'll take longer for you to level up, but well, at the same time, it'll take longer for your friend to level up. If they're at casual level and they're playing, they're not really leveling up as fast, and even you're trying to get them up to superstar levels so that way they can play with you. I believe they're going to make some tweaks to that, but that's just the preliminary of what I think we can expect to see about the new affiliates and the changes to the park's competitive versus casual structure to actually make it a little more engaging in park and less complaining about park not being competitive, or it's too many casual players. You don't know who's competitive and who's casual. Everybody's just here just like doing it, whatever. Now, before we jump into my career specifics, improvements that we're going to see, I'm going to take a little shot at this one. This is going to be a little bit of a long shot. I'm going to say that I believe we're going to see female my players. I know it's a long shot, and with live doing it and this, that, and the other. I don't think 2K is going to do it in the same aspect of we're bringing in the WNBA, maybe, but I do believe they're going to do it in the aspect of the ability to create a female avatar. It wouldn't be too many adjustments that need to be made. 2K has had a history of going in and doing a lot of animations. And they've yet to really talk about what their animation department has been up to. So, I believe that they're hiding that, because if they talk about that too early, they're going to kind of reveal little things like that. So that's me taking a little shot in the dark when it comes down to that. But now we're going to get into my career change I can see coming in this year's installment and what we're going to see in this article. Okay, now with my career, first thing first, I believe we're going to see the removal of the whole orange juice structure. It was a great experiment, but they always experiment with something, see how people respond to it, and then go off. We're going to see a return to a more narrative-based story. Does that mean we go past more than 1 year when it comes down to an engaging story? Maybe. If you look at the GM mode, they've made a narrative-based decision that goes past 1 year, that goes to the decisions you make in off season. So it's really not going to be that difficult for them to tweak those narrative-based decisions in the game itself. So when it comes down to it, I can see that we're going to see a more narrative-based my career. Hopefully the backstory is the same as it has been the past 3 years, but we will see a little bit of fun being had with the my career element. I believe we're gonna probably see something a little more competitive from my career, something that actually engage you, make you want to play. Maybe not like the interactions with all of the superstars and things like that, but more along the lines of a return to when it's like, oh, when you go out here, man, you got to go out here and put like skills challenges up against other teams, other specific opponents. So it's going to be a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But one of the biggest improvements that I see coming to my career is the elimination of all those random text messages. It's one thing to have to choose to what you do on your off days, and they're always trying to find ways to improve that system where it's engaging and it's fun. but it lasts, and it always lasts for just maybe a week before you start getting tired of the same 5 people sending you messages. They want to keep hanging out. Now, after a while, you can only literally get fans from these people. It's like, I'm not benefiting nothing from you no more, brother. Leave me alone. So I think we should see a return to the to one of the older systems they had in place. I think it was 2 years ago. It might it might even been last year in 2K16, where you had the list of contacts that you can pursue, and each of those contacts, it told you what you can get from them, and so you can select up to 10. Once you get through those 10, once you get through everything with a contact, you can basically remove them from your little list of active pursuants. And after a while, it won't ask you to do anything. So if you didn't want to hang out with other superstars, you didn't have to add them to your list. But you can basically essentially approach the ones you want and go after the ones you want, so that way you can get what you want and then go on about your day. So I see us making a return to that kind of era of my career, with of course improved visuals, with of course improved gameplay, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the improvements on the archetype system. That's something that everybody wants to hear about, and I'm going to take a stab in the dark as to which way they're going with this one. But this one's going to be fun right here. So if I told you to take two archetypes from NBA 2K17 and put them together, which ones would you choose? Most likely you would choose a sharpshooter, playmaker combo, sharpshooter slasher combo, or playmaker slasher combo. But I pose a question: what would happen if you put a lockdown defender and playmaker combo, or what I would consider my favorite build, if given the opportunity, would be a lockdown defender and shot creator. That'd be the most OP build you'd ever have. Now, the reason I pose kind of questions is because I really feel that that's the direction that 2K is going to go. They said they made so many improvements on the archetype system, so we know it's making a return. But what improvements did they make? So you look at how they can improve the archetype system, and I think that there's mainly two ways they're gonna go. Either they're gonna go hybrid or they're gonna go dynamic. Now, with hybrid archetype system and everything, they're gonna allow you to choose two archetypes at the beginning of your journey, and build toward those two archetypes, which means that you'll be able to max out these two archetypes at their own respective cap. So if you're a playmaker first and a sharpshooter second, then that means that you'll be able to get 90, 95, 95 speed, and then your passing ability would be 95, but your shooting abilities would be 85, or hell, even 80, and everything like that. So when it boils down to it, that's the kind of hybrid archetype system that they're going to put into place. Or they're going to go the dynamic route. And if they go the dynamic route, that would be enjoyable. That would be actually astronomically fun, because the dynamic archetype system will basically allow you to pick a starting point. So let's look at the games like UFC or NBA Live. Their ability to say, okay, look, you pick the two archetypes that you want to be. So UFC allows you to pick a starting base as to what kind of fighter you want to be. And so, like, if you pick boxing, it doesn't change your caps. The only thing it does is it chooses a higher starting base for a boxer, and you still allowed to build your character up in any other direction. So you have the caps of your levels based on your overall build, and then you have the starting base based on the position, based on the direction that you chose to start off in. So I believe we're going to see that kind of dynamic system come if we don't get the hybrid. And I would love to see the dynamic system come like that, because what that means is that, say, if I say, okay, I want to be a lockdown defender, that's going to be my primary thing right there. And so I'm gonna start off with a little bit of a better ability to block shots and get steals, and then as I develop, I can choose my secondary system along the way. And that kind of, like I said, that kind of thing is, if executed poorly, it'll go off wrong. But they can almost execute it similar to how Live is executing it this year, which is that, like, you can pick it, and then you can kind of pick your secondary one, and then as you level up, you can apply towards that secondary one. And there are a couple of ways that they can do it, but I believe I see an archetype system that includes more than one archetype, that includes a primary and a secondary. I don't believe they're going to go three archetypes because then you're gonna just have people trying to put together the most dominant build. And I won't say that it's gonna first of all, it's gonna lead to a lot of different creativity. It's gonna lead to a lot of different builds, and a lot of different funny videos of watching people put together some of the weirdest builds possible and everything. But I think we're gonna, like I said, I think we're gonna see the archetype system first of all get a couple of new restrictions and things like that. So like we're not just gonna see height restrictions. We're gonna see weight restrictions that kind of go into play as to how the archetype system holds up. And what I mean simply is this: is that of course in this year, in this one, in 2K17s, we had the ability, if you're a center, you can be these archetypes. If you're a point guard, you can be these archetypes. If you're a small forward, you can be every archetype. And the hard thing is that you're not gonna really see them go too far away from that part. But what you are gonna see them is they're gonna bring more restrictions in to the because if you don't bring more restrictions into that, you're just gonna have a crap ton of small forwards. So they're gonna have to find a way to kind of balance it out so that way everybody's not a small forward. It gives people a reason to want to be a point guard. It gives people a reason to want to be. I mean, like when you look at it this year, like they gave people a reason to want to play point, or to want to play the 2, or to want to play the 3, or to want to play the 4, or to want to play the 5. Like they gave them some specifics that said, okay, well, like a point, like a point guard and a small forward might can both be playmakers, but the difference is that the point guard is a little faster. And you'd have to, and with weight having to matter, they're gonna take that into consideration. So we're gonna see an overhaul of the archetype system that's gonna benefit the crap out of NBA 2K18 and create some really, really sweet builds for my park. So there you have it. I know this video was a little long, but I kind of wanted to make sure I touched up on everything when it comes down to what they're dropping in my career, my park, and Pro-Am's respective modes in the upcoming blog. When it comes down to it, 2K18 is right around the corner. I plan on dropping a lot of content for it, build guides, best practices, ways to earn VC that don't seem too much of a hassle. And overall, I'm gonna kick it in. I'm gonna have a little fun. Like I said, I'm buying both games, so I'm gonna give you a rundown on both of them, the ins and outs, the ups and downs about them. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you think I missed something that they should improve on for 2K18. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.